The vast Imperial scout ship, Dominion's Eye, drifted silently at the edge of the Sol system, its sleek obsidian hull absorbing what little starlight reached this distant corner of the galaxy. On the bridge, Captain Zexari, a tall, multi-limbed being with iridescent scales, stared at the holographic display of the third planet from the system's unremarkable yellow star. Curious, Zexari muttered, mandibles clicking in thought. Scan it again. The ship's AI complied, waves of invisible energy washing over the blue-green world below. Within moments, a detailed report materialized before the captain's compound eyes. Primitive fossil fuel technologies detected. Rudimentary spaceflight capabilities. No energy shields. No faster-than-light travel. The AI's voice was cold, emotionless. Population: approximately 8 billion sentient bipeds. Zexari's inner eyelids blinked rapidly in excitement. This was exactly the kind of world the Empire loved to conquer. Densely populated, technologically inferior, and rich in resources and potential slave labor. Compile a full report for High Command, Zexari ordered, already imagining the accolades and promotions that would come with such a discovery. Mark this system as prime for conquest. As the scout ship prepared to jump to hyperspace, none of its crew noticed the microscopic nanoprobes that had attached themselves to the vessel's hull. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, in a vast underground command center, General Samantha Chen watched the alien ship's every move. "They took the bait," she said, a grim smile playing on her lips. She turned to the assembled world leaders on the massive view screen behind her. "Operation Shadow Veil is a success. The Empire believes us to be easy prey." President Adeyemi of the African Union leaned forward, his holographic form flickering slightly. "And you're certain their scans didn't detect any of our true capabilities?" Chen nodded confidently. "Our quantum camouflage held. As far as they know, we're still burning fossil fuels and playing with chemical rockets." "What about the Mars and Luna bases?" Premier Liu of the Chinese Federation asked, concern evident in her voice. "Completely hidden," Chen assured her, "as are our orbital shipyards and the Jupiter energy harvesting stations. To their eyes, we're nothing but a primitive species barely out of our cradle." Chancellor Schmidt of the European Alliance stroked his beard thoughtfully. "It's a risky gambit, General, if the Empire decides to strike quickly." "They won't," interrupted Dr. Ramirez, Earth's leading xenoanthropologist. All eyes turned to the small, energetic woman as she stepped forward. "I studied every piece of data we've gathered on the Empire over the last century. They're arrogant, yes, but also methodical. They'll spend months, maybe even years, preparing for what they think will be an easy conquest." General Chen nodded in agreement, "which gives us time to finish upgrading our fleet and train more Pshyan-enhanced soldiers." "And if they decide to send more scouts?" asked Prime Minister Tanaka of Japan. Chen's eyes gleamed with a mix of determination and something almost predatory. "Then we feed them the same carefully crafted illusion. Let them think us weak and primitive. The greater their overconfidence, the harder they'll fall when we finally reveal our true strength." The leaders murmured among themselves, a mix of anticipation and nervous energy palpable even through their holographic projections. President Rodriguez of the North American Union raised his hand, silencing the chatter. "We've prepared for this moment for over a century, ever since we reverse-engineered that crashed Imperial shuttle in Roswell. We've hidden our advancements, united our planet in secret, and built defenses that will make the Empire wish they'd never heard of Earth." He paused, looking each leader in the eye. "The vote stands." One by one, the world leaders nodded solemnly. "Then may whatever gods maybe have mercy on the Empire," Rodriguez said, his voice firm with resolve. "Because humanity will not." As the meeting adjourned, General Chen turned back to the global defense grid display. Countless hidden satellites, armed with weapons that would make the Empire's tech look primitive, blinked steadily. Stealth ships patrolled the solar system, cloaked in technology that defied the laws of physics as the Empire understood them. Humanity was ready, Let the Empire come. Their miscalculation would be the stuff of legends, assuming any of them survived to tell the tale. 6 months after the initial scout report, the Imperial Armada arrived at the edge of the Sol system. The massive fleet, comprising over 1,000 warships, emerged from hyperspace in a dazzling display of power. At the center of this awe-inspiring formation was the Imperator's Fist, a planet-killer-class dreadnought that dwarfed even the largest of its escort vessels. On its bridge, Grand Admiral Vexcor surveyed the holographic representation of the system with his 4 eyes, each cybernetically enhanced to process tactical information at incredible speeds. His gray, leathery skin crinkled in what passed for a smile among his species. "Pitiful," he growled, voice like gravel in a steel drum. "Not even an orbital defense grid. This will be easier than culling dronlings." His second-in-command, Sub-Admiral Zara, approached with a data slate. "The invasion plan is prepared, sir. Shall we commence the attack?" Vexcor waved a clawed hand dismissively. "No need to rush, Sub-Admiral. Let's savor this moment. Begin standard conquest procedures. Destroy their primitive satellites, then target military installations. I want their leaders begging for mercy within a planetary rotation." As the order was relayed, the Armada began to move deeper into the system. Smaller scout ships darted ahead, their sensors probing for any sign of resistance. They found none. Back on Earth, deep within the Cheyenne Mountain complex, now expanded into a sprawling underground city, General Chen watched the approaching fleet with a mixture of anticipation and dread. The weight of humanity's fate pressed heavily on her shoulders. "They're earlier than we expected," President Rodriguez noted, his hologram flickering beside her. Chen nodded grimly. "It doesn't change the plan. All personnel are in position. Orbital platforms are ready. We just need them to commit fully to the attack." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the command center. A young lieutenant rushed up, her face pale. "General, they've destroyed our decoy satellites and are targeting major cities." Chen's jaw tightened. This was it. Initiate Operation Phantom Veil. Across the globe, hidden quantum transmitters activated. In the blink of an eye, Earth simply vanished. On the bridge of the Imperator's Fist, chaos erupted. "Impossible!" Vexcor roared, all 4 eyes wide with disbelief. "Where did it go?" Zara frantically worked the sensor arrays. It's just gone, sir." As if it never existed. Before the Empire could react, space itself seemed to ripple around their fleet. Sleek, predatory ships of unmistakably human design decloaked, their hulls gleaming with a metal unknown to Imperial science. Inside the lead vessel, the HMS Excalibur, Admiral Kira Donovan allowed herself a small, fierce grin. "All ships, weapons free. Let's show these alien bastards what humanity can do." The human fleet opened fire. Beams of concentrated dark energy lanced out, bypassing Imperial shields as if they weren't there. Smaller craft swarmed from hidden hangars in the asteroid belt, piloted by AIs with reflexes that made their organic counterparts look sluggish. Back in Cheyenne Mountain, Chen watched the battle unfold with grim satisfaction. "Send in the Phantoms," she ordered. Across the solar system, massive orbital platforms shimmered into existence. These were the crown jewels of Earth's defense network, each one housing a weapon that defied the laws of physics as the Empire understood them. The Phantoms fired. Space itself seemed to warp and twist. Imperial ships found themselves pulled apart by forces they couldn't comprehend, their much-vaunted technology useless against weapons that manipulated the fabric of reality itself. In the span of minutes, a third of the Imperial fleet was decimated. On the Imperator's Fist, Grand Admiral Vexcor watched in horror as his invincible armada crumbled before this impossible foe. "All ships, retreat," he bellowed. "Fall back and regroup." But as the Imperial ships tried to flee, they found their hyperdrives unresponsive. Humanity's trap had sprung shut, and the hunters were about to become the hunted. The battle for Earth had begun, and the Empire was about to learn the true cost of underestimating humanity. As the Imperial fleet scrambled to regroup, the true extent of humanity's technological prowess became apparent. The HMS Excalibur, flagship of Earth's defense fleet, sliced through space with impossible grace. Its hull, composed of a metamaterial that absorbed all sensor scans, seemed to flicker in and out of existence as it maneuvered. Admiral Donovan's voice rang out across the human fleet's secure quantum network. All ships execute maneuver chimera, phantoms, initiate gravitational lensing. In perfect synchronization, Earth's ships performed a series of moves that defied conventional physics. They seemed to bend space around them, appearing and disappearing at will, each reappearance bringing them closer to their Imperial targets. Meanwhile, the massive phantom platforms began to warp the very fabric of space-time. Light bent around them, creating false images of Earth's fleet. Suddenly, the Imperial Armada found itself facing what appeared to be tens of thousands of enemy ships. Aboard the Imperator's Fist, Grand Admiral Vexcor's composure finally shattered. "What manner of devilry is this?" he roared, all four eyes wild with a mixture of fury and fear. Sub-Admiral Zara's voice trembled as she reported, "Sir, we're detecting spatial anomalies throughout the system. Our targeting systems are useless. We can't distinguish real ships from false images." As if to punctuate her words, a squadron of human fighters phased through the Imperator Fist's shields, their hulls momentarily becoming intangible. They rematerialized inside the shield perimeter and unleashed a barrage of quantum-tipped missiles directly into the Dreadnought's hull. Explosions rocked the massive ship as Vexcor bellowed orders. "Launch all fighters. Concentrate fire on the largest enemy signatures." Imperial combat pods poured out of launch bays by the thousands, only to be met by Earth's AI-piloted interceptors. The machines moved with inhuman precision, their neural networks processing combat data and adapting strategies faster than any organic mind could hope to match. But humanity's most shocking weapon was yet to be revealed. Deep within the HMS Excalibur, Captain Maya Singh sat in a meditation chamber, her mind linked directly to the ship's systems. She was of Shin, one of Earth's best-kept secrets. Humans who had developed latent psychic abilities through generations of careful genetic engineering and neural enhancement. Maya's consciousness expanded, reaching out to touch the minds of the Imperial forces. With a thought, she planted seeds of fear and confusion in the enemy ranks. Imperial officers suddenly found themselves unable to give coherent orders. Gunners' hands shook as they tried to target the elusive human ships. Aboard his flagship, Vexcor clutched his head in agony as Maya's psychic assault battered against his mental defenses. What is happening to me?" he growled through clenched teeth. The battle continued to rage across the solar system. Earth's forces, though outnumbered, pressed their advantage ruthlessly. Human ships danced through debris fields that they themselves could perceive and control, using advanced gravity manipulation to turn the very wreckage of destroyed Imperial ships into deadly projectiles. On Earth, in the Cheyenne Mountain Command Center, General Chen watched the unfolding chaos with grim satisfaction. "Initiate Phase 2, she ordered. Across the asteroid belt, hidden mining facilities hummed to life. Swarms of autonomous drones emerged, each carrying a payload of dark matter bombs, weapons that could create localized singularities, tearing apart anything caught in their event horizons. As the drones approached the fragmented Imperial fleet, Vexcor made a last, desperate gambit. "All ships, concentrate fire on the third planet. If we can't have it, neither will they." But as the remaining Imperial ships turned their planet-killer weapons toward Earth, the planet shimmered and vanished once more. In its place appeared a massive orbital defense array, its weapon ports glowing with barely contained energy. "You wanted Earth." General Chen's voice boomed across all frequencies, Imperial and human alike. "Here it is." The array fired, unleashing a blast of such power that it rivaled the energy output of a small star. The wave of destruction washed over the Imperial fleet, vaporizing ships by the hundreds. As alarms blared and systems failed all around him, Grand Admiral Vexcor realized the fatal truth. The Empire had gravely underestimated humanity, and now they would pay the price. The battle was far from over, but in this moment, the course of galactic history had irrevocably changed. As the devastating energy wave dissipated, the remains of the once mighty Imperial fleet drifted in disarray. The Imperator's fist, though heavily damaged, remained operational. Grand Admiral Vexcor, his pride wounded more than his ship, snarled orders to his battered crew. Status report. I want every operational ship accounted for. Sub-Admiral Zara, her usual composure shaken, responded shakily. Sir, we've lost nearly 60% of our fleet. The rest are in various states of disrepair. Our long-range communications array is offline. We can't call for reinforcements. Vexcor's eyes narrowed. Then we make our stand here. Regroup the remaining ships. We are the Imperial Armada. We do not retreat. Meanwhile, aboard the HMS Excalibur, Admiral Donovan was orchestrating humanity's next move. All ships form up on the Excalibur. Phantom platforms realign for Phase 3. It's time we show them our full hand. As the human fleet regrouped, a new type of ship emerged from hiding spots throughout the solar system. These vessels, sleek and angular, seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They were Earth's ultimate weapons, the Nemesis-class battleships. On Earth, General Chen addressed the Global Defense Council. The Nemesis ships are moving into position. Admiral Donovan reports all systems are green. President Rodriguez leaned forward, his holographic form flickering slightly. And you're certain about this, General? Once we reveal the Nemesis capabilities, there's no going back. The galaxy will know what we're truly capable of. Chen nodded solemnly. It's time, Mr. President. We've hidden in the shadows long enough. Back in space, the Nemesis ships took up formation around the battered Imperial fleet. Admiral Donovan's voice crackled over the comms. Nemesis ships, power up your singularity drives. The space around the Nemesis-class vessels began to distort, light bending impossibly as micro-singularities formed at the heart of each ship. The very fabric of space-time warped to their will. Aboard the Imperator's fist, alarms blared as sensors detected the massive gravitational anomalies. Vexcor watched in horror as his ships began to be pulled towards the Nemesis vessels, caught in their irresistible gravitational grasp. Impossible, he breathed, all four eyes wide with disbelief. No species could harness the power of black holes. But humanity had done just that. Years of research into dark matter and quantum singularities had led to this moment. The Nemesis ships didn't just use the power of black holes. They controlled them. As the Imperial ships struggled against the gravitational pull, the human fleet opened fire. Concentrated beams of exotic particles, accelerated by the intense gravity fields, lanced out. Imperial shields, already strained, collapsed under the onslaught. Hull plating vaporized on contact. In the Cheyenne Mountain Command Center, Chen watched the battle unfold with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The power they were unleashing could reshape the galaxy. It was a testament to human ingenuity, and a terrible burden. Aboard the Excalibur, Captain Maya Singh's psychic abilities were pushed to their limits. She reached out with her mind, touching the thoughts of the panicking Imperial crews. Through the chaos and fear, she searched for any sign of surrender. Admiral, she called out, her voice strained. I'm sensing widespread panic in the Imperial forces. Many of their commanders are considering surrender. Donovan nodded grimly. Broadcast on all frequencies. Let's end this. The Admiral's voice boomed across space, reaching every Imperial ship. This is Admiral Kira Donovan of Earth's Defense Fleet. Your fleet is defeated. Your technology is outmatched. Surrender now, and we will show mercy. Continue to fight, and you will be destroyed. On the bridge of the Imperator's fist, Grand Admiral Vexcor faced the most difficult decision of his long career. Around him, His mighty fleet lay in ruins. The impossible ships of the humans held his remaining forces in their gravitational grasp. With a heavy heart and a wounded pride, Vexcor gave the order he never thought he'd utter. All ships, stand down. Initiate surrender protocols. As the Imperial ships powered down their weapons, a new chapter in galactic history began. Humanity had not only defended itself, it had revealed itself as a force that would reshape the stars. The battle was over, but the true challenge was just beginning. How would humanity use its newfound power? The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would emerge from the shadows next. In the aftermath of the battle, an uneasy calm settled over the solar system. The remaining Imperial ships, now under human control, were corralled into a tight formation near Mars. Earth's fleet, led by the imposing Nemesis-class vessels, maintained a vigilant perimeter. Aboard the HMS Excalibur, Admiral Donovan stood before a holographic display of the solar system, her face etched with the weight of recent events. "Status report," she commanded. Her XO, Commander Ravi Patel, stepped forward. "The Imperial surrender is holding, Admiral. We've begun processing prisoners and gathering intel from their systems. But there's something else you need to see." With a gesture, Patel brought up a new hologram, a complex network of lines stretching across the galaxy. "This is the Empire's FTL communication network. According to the data we've decrypted, news of their defeat is already spreading." Donovan's eyes narrowed. "How fast?" "Faster than we anticipated. Within days, every corner of the Empire will know of our existence and our capabilities." The implications hung heavy in the air. Humanity's carefully maintained secrecy was now irreversibly shattered. Meanwhile, in Cheyenne Mountain, an emergency session of the Global Defense Council was underway. Representatives from every nation on Earth argued fiercely about their next move. General Chen's voice cut through the chaos. "We need to act quickly. The Empire will retaliate, and they won't underestimate us again." President Rodriguez nodded grimly. "Agreed. But we're not just deciding the fate of Earth anymore. Our actions now will shape the future of the entire galaxy." As debates raged on Earth, a different kind of revolution was brewing across the stars. On Tarkon Prime, the Empire's throne world, news of the defeat had sent shockwaves through the Imperial court. In an opulent chamber draped with the banners of 1,000 conquered worlds, Emperor Zexcora VI raged at his advisors. "How is this possible? An unknown species, hiding in an insignificant system, has decimated our fleet." High Counselor Drath, his tentacles writhing with anxiety, attempted to calm the Emperor. "My liege, we are already mobilizing our reserves. We will crush these upstarts and—" "Silence," Zexcora roared. But before he could continue, the chamber's massive doors burst open. A group of younger nobles, led by Princess Ixura, the Emperor's own daughter, strode in. Their eyes blazed with a fervor that made even the Emperor pause. "Father," Ixura declared, her voice ringing with authority beyond her years, "the old ways have failed us. This defeat proves that our empire has grown complacent. We demand reforms. Now." The chamber erupted into chaos as factions clashed, the long simmering tensions within the Empire finally boiling over. Back on Earth, humanity grappled with its new reality. In universities and research labs, scientists pored over the treasure trove of Imperial technology, unlocking new secrets by the hour. Dr. Aisha Rahman, head of Xenobiology at the United Earth Science Division, made a startling discovery. These Imperial genetic markers, she explained to a rapt audience of colleagues, they're not so different from our own. With some modification, we could adapt their biotechnology to enhance human capabilities beyond anything we've achieved before. The implications were staggering. Humanity stood on the brink of an evolutionary leap. In orbit, aboard the captured Imperator's Fist, a team of human engineers led by Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka worked feverishly to unlock the secrets of Imperial FTL technology. "It's incredible," Tanaka marveled, his eyes gleaming with excitement. Their hyperdrives operate on principles we only theorized about. With this, we could reach the galactic core in days instead of centuries. As humanity's understanding of the galaxy expanded exponentially, so too did the challenges they faced. The question was no longer whether they could defend Earth, but how they would shape the future of the galaxy. In a secure briefing room, Admiral Donovan addressed a joint task force of military and civilian leaders. "We've won the battle," she said solemnly, "but the real war is just beginning. The Empire will return, and they won't be alone. We need to be ready." The room fell silent as the weight of her words sank in. Humanity had emerged from the shadows, but the light of the galactic stage cast long and dangerous shadows of its own. As the sun set on this momentous day, Earth stood at a crossroads. The choices made in the coming days would determine not just the fate of humanity, but of countless species across the stars. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what this new power would do next. As news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy, the repercussions were immediate and far-reaching. On countless worlds under Imperial rule, long-suppressed resistance movements burst into open rebellion. The Empire, once thought invincible, suddenly seemed vulnerable. On the desert world of Kalthora, plasma fires raged through the streets of the capital as former slaves overwhelmed their imperial overlords. Similar scenes played out on 100 different planets, each uprising emboldened by the knowledge that a small, unknown species had brought the mighty empire to its knees. Back on Earth, the Global Defense Council was in session once again. The chamber buzzed with a mixture of excitement and apprehension as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Admiral Donovan, her hologram flickering slightly, addressed the council. "The situation is developing rapidly. We've received transmissions from no fewer than 30 resistance movements, all seeking our aid against the Empire." President Rodriguez leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "And what do you recommend, Admiral?" Donovan's expression was grim but determined. "We have a unique opportunity here. These resistance movements could be valuable allies in the coming conflict with the Empire. I propose we establish contact and offer our support." The council chamber erupted into heated debate. Some argued for caution, warning against overextending Earth's resources. Others saw a chance to strike a decisive blow against the Empire while it was reeling. As the arguments raged, Dr. Aisha Rahman stepped forward, her voice cutting through the clamor. "Council members, please, we're overlooking something crucial." She gestured, and a holographic display of alien DNA sequences appeared. "Our studies of imperial biology have revealed something extraordinary. Many of these species show signs of artificial genetic manipulation, likely by the Empire itself." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. General Chen was the first to speak. "Are you suggesting the Empire has been experimenting on its subject species?" Rahman nodded solemnly. "Not just experimenting. Selectively breeding them, enhancing certain traits while suppressing others. It appears to be a long-term program of genetic control." The revelation sent shockwaves through the council. The Empire's crimes suddenly seemed even more monstrous than they had realized. Meanwhile, in deep space, the HMS Excalibur led a small fleet of Earth's most advanced ships on a critical mission. Their destination, Nexus Station, a massive space habitat that served as a hub for numerous alien species on the fringes of Imperial space. Captain Maya Singh stood on the bridge, her psychic senses extended to their limit. "I'm detecting a mix of emotions from the station," she reported. "Fear, hope, curiosity, and a strong undercurrent of resentment towards the Empire." Commander Patel nodded. "Let's hope that works in our favor. We're about to make humanity's first official contact with the wider galactic community." As the Earth fleet approached Nexus Station, a tense standoff ensued. Station security, unsure of these new arrivals, trained their weapons on the human ships. But before hostilities could erupt, a new player entered the scene. A sleek, organic-looking vessel decloaked between the two groups. Its design was unlike anything in the Imperial or human fleets. A melodious voice echoed across all communication channels. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Ambassador Zilixia of the Sylvan Concord. We have been watching your emergence with great interest. The revelation of yet another advanced civilization sent ripples of shock through both the human fleet and Nexus Station. Ambassador Zilixia continued. For millennia, we have worked in secret to undermine the Empire's grip on the galaxy. Now, with your unexpected victory, the time has come for us to emerge as well. We propose an alliance, not just with humanity, but with all species who seek freedom from imperial tyranny. Aboard the Excalibur, Captain Singh exchanged a look with Commander Patel. This changed everything. Humanity had hoped to find allies, but they never expected to encounter another civilization that had hidden its true capabilities from the Empire. As representatives from Nexus Station cautiously agreed to talks, the stage was set for a historic moment. In the heart of the station, delegates from a dozen species gathered, former Imperial subjects, humans, and the mysterious Sylvan Concord. The galaxy stood on the brink of a new era. Alliances would be forged, secrets revealed, and the balance of power reshaped. And at the center of it all stood humanity, catapulted from obscurity to a pivotal role in galactic affairs. The Empire's miscalculation had set in motion events that would change the course of history for countless civilizations. The true test of humanity's resolve and wisdom was about to begin. The grand conference chamber aboard Nexus Station hummed with tension and possibility. Representatives from a dozen species, each with their own agendas and centuries of oppression weighing on their shoulders, gathered around a massive holographic display of the galaxy. Admiral Donovan, chosen to represent humanity, stood tall despite the gravity of the moment. Beside her, Ambassador Zilixia of the Sylvan Concord seemed to shimmer, their bioluminescent skin pulsing with subtle patterns that hinted at complex emotions. "We stand at a crossroads," Donovan began, her voice steady and clear. "The Empire's grip on the galaxy is weakening, but make no mistake, they will strike back with everything they have." A hulking figure, covered in iridescent scales, leaned forward. This was Grokthar, leader of the Vrokneri rebellion. "Pretty words, human," he growled, "but words won't stop Imperial warships. What exactly do you propose?" Before Donovan could respond, the chamber's doors hissed open. A small, hunched figure shuffled in, surrounded by an entourage of hovering drones. The room fell silent as the newcomer approached the central table. "Forgive my tardiness," the creature wheezed, its multifaceted eyes blinking rapidly. "I am Six, last of the archivists, and I bring grave news." With a gesture, Six's drones projected a new image over the galactic map. It showed a massive structure, like a mechanical web stretching between stars. "The Empire's ultimate weapon," Six explained. "A network of gravity manipulators capable of tearing entire solar systems apart. They call it the Nexus of Worlds." The chamber erupted into chaos. Species that had been on the brink of alliance now turned on each other, accusations of treachery flying. Amidst the pandemonium, Captain Maya Singh, standing at the back of the human delegation, felt a sudden, overwhelming psychic presence. Her eyes widened as she realized its source. Ambassador Zilixia. The Sylvan representative raised a hand, and a wave of calm washed over the room. "Please," Zilixia's melodious voice cut through the noise. "We cannot afford division now. The Nexus of Worlds is real, but it is not invincible." All eyes turned to the shimmering ambassador. Zilixia continued. "For centuries, the Sylvan Concord has worked to infiltrate every level of Imperial society. We have agents in place, ready to strike at the heart of their power, but we cannot do it alone." Admiral Donovan stepped forward, her mind racing with the implications. "A joint operation," she said, locking eyes with Zilixia. "Combine our forces, our technologies. Hit them from within and without." Grokthar slammed a massive fist on the table, his scales flashing with excitement. "The Vrokneri battle fleets stand ready. Let us bring the fight to the Imperial dogs." One by one, the other representatives voiced their support. Centuries of resentment and fear were channeled into a burning desire for action. As the alliance took shape, Dr. Aisha Rahman approached Admiral Donovan with urgent news from Earth. "Admiral," she said, her voice low, "we've made a breakthrough with the Imperial genetic data. We can reverse their modifications, restore the natural evolution of subjugated species." Donovan's eyes widened. This could change everything. Not just the outcome of the war, but the very future of countless civilizations. As the conference reached its climax, a plan emerged. The combined fleets of the new alliance would launch a massive assault on the Empire's core worlds, drawing their forces away from the Nexus of Worlds. Meanwhile, a small elite team, combining the best of each species' abilities, would infiltrate the superweapon itself. Ambassador Zilixia turned to Admiral Donovan, their bioluminescence pulsing with an intensity that reflected the gravity of the moment. "Your species has ignited a spark that could free the galaxy. But freedom comes with a heavy price. Are you prepared to pay it?" Donovan met the ambassador's gaze unflinchingly. "Humanity has hidden in the shadows for too long. It's time we stepped into the light, whatever the cost." As the delegates dispersed to prepare their forces, a sense of nervous energy permeated Nexus Station. The greatest conflict in galactic history was about to begin, with the fate of countless worlds hanging in the balance. In her quarters, Captain Maya Singh meditated, reaching out with her psychic senses to touch the minds of the diverse alliance. She felt their fear, their determination, their hope, and underlying it all, a single unifying thought. The Empire's reign was coming to an end. A new era for the galaxy was about to dawn. The combined fleet of the newly formed Galactic Alliance hung in the void of space, a testament to the unity forged in the face of tyranny. Ships of every size and design, from a dozen different species, formed a vast armada that stretched as far as the eye could see. Aboard the flagship, a modified Nemesis-class vessel christened Unity, Admiral Donovan stood before a holographic display of the Nexus of Worlds. Beside her, representatives from each allied species waited with bated breath. "All forces report ready," Admiral Commander Patil announced, his voice tight with anticipation. Donovan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. "Then let's end this. All ships, commence Operation Shadowfall." As one, the Allied fleet surged forward, tearing holes in the fabric of space-time as they jumped to faster-than-light speeds. The final battle for the galaxy's future had begun. Meanwhile, deep within Imperial space, a small, nondescript freighter drifted towards the central hub of the Nexus of Worlds. Its hull bore the markings of a routine supply ship, but inside, the elite infiltration team prepared for their crucial mission. Captain Maya Singh, her psychic abilities enhanced by Sylvan biotechnology, reached out with her mind. "I sense confusion among the Imperial forces," she reported. "The diversion is working." Grukthar, the Vroknari warrior, flexed his massive claws. "Then let us strike while they are blind." As the infiltration team began their assault on the Nexus Control Center, the main battle raged across multiple star systems. Imperial forces, caught off guard by the suddenness and scale of the attack, struggled to mount an effective defense. The Nemesis-class ships proved their worth, using controlled singularities to tear apart Imperial dreadnoughts. Vroknari battle cruisers smashed through enemy lines with brutal efficiency, while Sylvan vessels danced between plasma bowls with impossible grace. But the Empire was far from defeated. As the initial shock wore off, they began to rally. The Emperor himself, ensconced in his throne world, activated the Nexus of Worlds. Entire star systems began to warp and twist as the fabric of space-time was manipulated on a cosmic scale. Whole planets were torn from their orbits, used as projectiles against the Allied fleet. It was in this moment of crisis that humanity's true strength shone through. Dr. Aisha Rahman, monitoring the battle from Earth, made a crucial discovery. "The Nexus is changing the fundamental constants of physics," she realized. "But our Nemesis drives. They can adapt." With this knowledge, The human ships became the linchpin of the Allied strategy. They created bubbles of stable space-time, allowing their allies to continue fighting even as reality itself seemed to unravel around them. In the heart of the Nexus Control Center, the infiltration team fought their way through waves of Imperial guards. Captain Singh's psychic abilities allowed them to stay one step ahead, while Grukthar's raw strength cleared a path. Finally, they reached the central chamber. Ambassador Zilixa, their bioluminescence dim from the strain of battle, interfaced with the Nexus controls. "We don't have much time," they warned. "The system is set to overload. It could tear the galaxy apart." As Zilixia worked frantically to shut down the Nexus, Imperial reinforcements closed in. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, with victory or annihilation only moments away. In a desperate gambit, Captain Singh linked minds with every psychic being in the Allied fleet. Through this vast network of consciousness, she channeled the combined will of the Alliance into the Nexus systems. The impossible happened. The Nexus of Worlds, designed to control the very fabric of space-time, yielded to the united psychic force of countless beings yearning for freedom. In an instant, the great weapon fell silent. Imperial ships across the galaxy suddenly found themselves without power, their technology rendered useless. As news of the victory spread, jubilant cheers erupted across the Allied fleet. The Empire, which had dominated the galaxy for millennia, had finally fallen. In the aftermath, as representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to form a new galactic government, humanity found itself at the center of a changed universe. They had emerged from the shadows not just as warriors, but as peacekeepers, scientists, and bridge builders between diverse species. Admiral Donovan, standing before the first assembly of the Galactic Federation, summed up the feelings of many. "We came to the stars carrying the weight of our history, the legacy of our conflicts. But we found something greater, a future where the combined strengths of all sentient beings can forge a path to the stars." As the assembly hall erupted in applause, the first chapter of humanity's grand cosmic adventure came to a close. The shadows had receded, and in the light of a new dawn, the united species of the galaxy looked to the future with hope and determination. The Empire's miscalculation was complete, and a new era of exploration, cooperation, and discovery stretched out before them, as vast and full of promise as the universe itself.